guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Kay. Here we discuss all things handbags. So please come in, have a seat, and let's chat a bit. Today I wanted to make this video to discuss how someone can build a collection on a budget, because it is possible. So let's jump right into it. And I apologize for sounding a little nasally. Number one, understand your personal needs. And what I mean by that is, what size will you need? Are you a student? Do you need a tote? Are you a mom? Do you need a crossbody, a backpack, or a tote? So think about your personal needs, what you do on a regular basis, and what are the things that you need to carry your things, your necessities. 2, what is your style? Personally, me being a mom, I love to keep my hands free. So I'm going to always gravitate towards a crossbody when I have my kiddos with me. I also like a tote as well, because I can dump a lot of things in there. So think about your style. One thing I would say is stay away from trends starting off, because yeah, that bag may be cute, but is it going to really fulfill your needs at that moment? All right, number 3, the quality. If you're wearing this bag on a regular basis, think about the material. I personally love pebble calf skin. I have a few bags in my collection that are made out of that, are just made out of leather, period. But you have to be careful with leather, because as I mentioned in one of my other videos, the smooth calf skin leather one that I got from Coach with the, what bag is that? I have it right here. I'm drawing a blank. I always do that. Let's see. Will it come back to mind? Will it come back to mind? Let's see. Let me see. It's not Brooklyn. There we go. The memory worked that time. With this leather, it's different from the calf skin. Let's see. That bag is way up top. One thing I learned about this bag is, because of the smoothness of the leather, it rubs pretty easily, as you can see here on the corners. So think about that. Outside of this bag is good, but think about that. I feel like pebble leather, the one that has that grainy feel, I feel like that is durable. Like, I've had bags where I've not purposely thrown around, but just put it in a chair here or there, and I mean, nothing rubbing off of it or anything. Like, it still look like I just bought it out of the store. So think about the material of the leather, because if it's a bag that you're going to be using on a regular basis, you want it to be able to hold up. Also, number 4, where will you be purchasing your bag from? Now, this is one that I really wanted to talk about, because personally, me, a lot of my bags come from eBay. And I know some people are not crazy about buying their bags off of eBay, but one thing that gives me comfort when I buy off of eBay is that they have this authentication process. And the way how that works, I'm sure a lot of you guys probably already heard of it, but the way that works is, if a bag that is being sold is at least $500, automatically it's going to go through the authentication process. Now, I have noticed recently that if something is under $500, they do give you the option to pay an extra $40 for it to go through the authentication process. Me personally, I'm not going to buy something expensive if it's not going through the authentication process on eBay, and I'll tell you why. Because it protects both the seller and the seller and the buyer. Because let's say you see an LV bag for $500, you purchase it. The description on the bag says in perfect condition, no watermarks, no rip, tear, anything. So you go ahead, you purchase that bag. It doesn't come straight to you. It goes to the authentication process for eBay. They analyze that bag, and if anything on that bag was not mentioned in the description, they're going to reach out to you, say, hey, For example, I noticed that there's a lipstick stain on the handle. Do you still want this bag? Or I noticed there's marks on it. Do you still want this bag? And so from there, you can decide, hey, yeah, I'll still take it, or no, I don't. So then you get the bag, you're happy with it. And what I mean is that I've heard horror stories where people bought things because it's not a guarantee that that seller is going to put it through the authentication process. I've seen how, I don't know how they've been able to do that. I probably need to do more research, but they're able to get around that. And if you buy that bag coming straight from the seller, they can easily say, well, or vice versa. Because I just saw a story on eBay. Not on eBay, on YouTube, and I'm trying to see if I can remember what happened with that lady. She sold her bag to this person, and I think when that person got the bag, they claimed that the lock was not on the bag, and she knew for a fact that the lock was on it. So she said, hey, just if you don't want the bag, send it back to me. And so the person claimed, air quotes, that they were sending the bag back. Well, the box that she got back was not her bag. It was a box of, I want to say the person who bought the bag sold cars, some type of cards on eBay. And it was empty boxes that they stuffed paper in it. So had she gone through the authentication process, that middle person would have ensured that, hey, yes, she did send you a bag. What are you doing on your end? You're not sending the bag back. Like that middle person is so important when you're exchanging a high ticket item like that. Because like I said, if she had the authentication process in the middle, it would have protected her, because eBay would have known from the get-go when she first mailed off that bag that there was a bag in that box. And that would have been the end of the story. But I think with her situation, she was able to get her money back. But I think the thing that was irritating was the buyer, who basically scammed her out of her bag. Even though she got her money back, she didn't get her bag back. And that person, the buyer, got their money back since they claimed they never received it, and they got to keep her bag. So I know that was like a bittersweet thing for her. But again, that's why it's so important to make sure if you're going to buy on eBay, go through the authentication process. So far, I haven't had any issues with going through the authentication process. And like I said, it protects both the buyer and the seller. And what I may try to do, if I'm able to, is insert maybe just like a random listing on eBay that shows the authentication process, if I'm able to do that. And what I like to do is when I go on eBay, I'll go ahead and type in the description. Let's say, for example, LV Speedy Bandolier 25. And before I even start looking at photos, I'll go ahead and change my filter to authentication. Meaning I check that box, meaning don't show me nothing unless it has that blue check mark to let me know that this bag is going through the authentication process. So that's the tip for everyone, if some of you guys out there don't know that. Number 5, the last thing, is organization. And what I mean by that is you want to make sure that this bag is able to carry everything you need. And also test the weight on the bag. Make sure when it's filled, like if this bag is able to carry everything for you, make sure it is not heavy when it's empty, and it's not too heavy for you when it's filled. But make sure it has all of the compartments and everything that you need. And I wanted to, let's see, do I have that bag in here? I don't think I have it with me. The Coach Manor bag, I spoke about that bag in a previous video. And I like that bag because it kind of reminded me, as far as the organization goes, because it had 3 compartments. It reminded me of the LV Pochette Matisse. So it carried everything for me. But that bag was heavy when it was empty, and it was definitely heavy when I had things in it. So that was my mistake. I should have really did more research before purchasing that bag to make sure it wasn't heavy, because it's a vintage bag, so it's not like it's in stores. So I should have probably did some more research first before purchasing it, because I love the bag. I carried it for months because it carries everything, and it's leather lined in the inside, which I love, because again, me being a mom, if my child's sippy cup wasted, I didn't have to worry about it destroying the bag. I could just easily wipe. So I loved everything about the bag. It was just that it is so heavy. So think about that. Think about not only your organization for that bag that you're looking at, meaning it's able to hold everything, compartmentalize everything that you need and more, possibly, but also think of the weight, because the weight can be a game changer. So another thing you can do is, let's say you already have a collection. Maybe there's a gap. Like for me, I have a gap when it comes to, I don't have anything suede. So at some point I would like to get a suede bag, but I'm not in any rush. I'm going to take my time. But yeah, if you have a collection already, look and see, if there's a gap in your collection. Maybe perhaps, you could use a tote. You're missing a tote or a clutch. And start from that. You don't have to just go out and just start, from scratch and, buying things. Start with what you have already. If you have bags already, build on that collection. And yeah, I think that was everything that I wanted to cover. Another tip that I like to do, sometimes if I'm looking for something in particular, I'll just go to Google. I'll say black clutch, and Google will bring up not only the highs, meaning in price, but they'll bring up the mids and the lows. Some of you guys may already know that, but sometimes to kind of give me an idea of what I want to spend, what direction I want to go into, sometimes Google helps me with that. So that's, that could be a tip if you guys are not already using that. But yeah, these are just some of the things that you want to think about when you're trying to grow or start a handbag collection, because it does not have to be expensive at all. There are a lot of nice bags out there for great quality at a reasonable price. So yeah, you just really have to do your homework and see what fits for you. And that's the main thing. Just make sure whatever you get, it fits for you. Possibly start off with neutrals, because that's a safe spot. It'll go with everything. Yeah, I don't want to make this video too long, but those are just a few tips that I used when trying to develop my collection, because I'm trying to be very intentional and not just wasting money, whether that bag is $300 or a couple thousands, which, yeah. I just want to make sure whatever I buy, my money is being well spent, and I'm getting the cost per wear out of that. So I just wanted to share those tips with you guys. I hope you are having a good day. Thank you for joining me. Take care. Bye.